fully electronically adjustable via the small stalk here.
Cool.
So you can push it closer in and raise it up and down as well. Is it for a special occasion today or just a bit of fun?
Birthday.
Yeah,
Was,
super. Today or?
No, it was in September.
Fair enough.
So, September the 20th.
Not bad at all then.
No, alright.
And how does that feel so far in the car?
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, feel comfortable? As long as you have a bend in your elbow and knee, that is the main thing.
Yeah.
And that you can see all three of the displays okay up front.
Yeah.
And then just one more thing to be or to mention is that the throttle pedal is effectively further away than the brake pedal.
Yeah.
So when you do move from the throttle to the brake, you just have to lift your foot up and onto it,
cool.
just as you have done there. Perfect. Have you done anything like this before?
I came here for the passenger ride in the AMG, which was cracking, and I drove Ferrari 430 Scuderia around Thruxton.
Oh, good. How was that around Thruxton?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Quick track, that one.
Yeah, that's it. It's fast, isn't it?
Good. So we'll get the hazard lights turned on, and then the interior mirror I'm going to set up for myself, so you can just purely focus on what's happening behind, in front of you today, rather.
Right, and Danny.
I'll do looking behind. Okay, so to get into drive, it's the stalk on the right-hand side, foot on the brake, and then pull this one downwards, and then you'll see the D light up in white.
Yeah.
So we'll start to pull out to the right now, around the two cars in front, and then driving down the road. So how was Thruxton? Was that your first sort of circuit driving as such?
Yeah, I've done. I did a first circuit drive. I sort of drove some Ferraris up on an airfield.
Okay.
So that's just kind of like a mad dash up, turn round, mad dash back.
And that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before you know, that's the problem those days. They end so quickly. So by the time you're just getting comfortable within the car, you're then sort of thrown back out of them.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So this is the road that we're on now. This is our access road. Basically joins us to all the different sites in the facility. We'll go straight across the roundabout here. Now this is the only road with a speed limit on our facility.
Yeah.
This one's 30. The rest of it is pretty much free rein. We're going to go through the gap in the fence, just what the silver car did. There's two blue cones along the fence, and in between them is a gap.
Okay.
We're going to go through there and then take a left onto our drag strip. What car do you drive normally yourself?
330 BMW.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, convertible. Old one, but I like it.
Yeah. You can't really go wrong with the German cars these days.
No,
Into lane 1 for me in between the two blue cones. We'll stop in between there. So what we have here is our dynamic area, effectively a drag strip. So we can go through the different settings of the car. We have the dynamic package, comfort, sports, sports plus, and race mode. We'll do the very first run in comfort, and then we'll work up to sports plus and race, and just sort of see how the car changes and develops when we change the modes.
Cool.
We'll do a full throttle acceleration run, keeping the car in between the white lines. In the middle lane there are two orange cones, do you see those?
Yep.
I'd like you to accelerate another 2 car lengths distance past the cones, roughly, and then do a full emergency stop.
Cool.
Hit the brake pedal as hard as you can,
Yep.
and come to a complete stop.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Let's go. Good. So how did that feel there? Was there a hesitation when you got on the throttle, or did it pick up pretty quick?
No, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Braking? You
Yeah,
got into the
braking
ABS
was fine,
there, you could hear it.
Yeah.
What did that feel like on the pedal? Quite normal as ABS would do, or was it pushing back or smooth?
No, it's cool. It's good. You know, it was nice. It was very controlled and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. So we're going to pull off now. We're going to turn left behind the 4 blue cones and join back onto the road. As you see, the hazards come on automatically when you do an emergency stop. They turn off automatically as well. And then left down here for me. So we're going to line back up into lane 1 again, and then effectively do another acceleration, this time in sports mode, and see how the car develops with that. So have you done any drifting before, or ice driving?
No drifting, apart from in my car when I'm on grass.
Yeah.
And kind of if it's very wet.
Yeah,
kind of
for sure.
Have a little bit of a play.
Have a bit of fun.
What lane are we going? 1.
Go back into lane 1.
But yeah, trying to kind of drifting is one thing that I really kind of want to get the hang of.
Good. So we'll sort of work on that today, and we'll spend quite a bit of time on the wet circle then.
Cool.
And see if we can get the hang of it. If you want to give the dynamic button 1 pull backwards, and then you'll see it light up in sports mode.
Yeah, cool.
That automatically stiffens up the dampers as well. See how this feels. difference there between the two settings?
Yeah, you can. I can feel there's a little bit more.
Initially on the throttle pedal, or just the whole way through?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Probably the whole way through. After the initial kind of traction control or weather sort of stepping in, you do get a bit of a
for sure.
Bit of a hoof.
Good. So we're going to go one more time on this and go straight into Sports Plus, and then we'll get on to some of the other activities today.
Cool.
So this car also has race start. It's effectively launch control.
Yeah.
We'll wait to go on the circuit, get the tyres a bit warmer for that, and then give it another go and effectively see if we can get the best performance out of the car for that race start.
Yeah, cool.
So with our wet surfaces today, it's basically normal tarmac. The tarmac has been polished and sort of smoothened down and covered in a resin.
Yeah.
This resin, when it's wet, it behaves like sheet ice. So it is pretty much what you'd experience in winter, but I'd say it's worse than sort of a road with snow on it.
Yeah.
Because it is polished and it is solid. The car just slides very easily, so you'll enjoy it today. It's perfect for drifting. Just one more click down. See how this feels. It felt a bit smoother on the launch that time as well, didn't it?
Yeah.
I think the tyres maybe a little bit warmer.
Yeah.
Just gets you a little bit more traction, but good. So we're now going to we'll pull forward again, line back onto the road. I'll put it back into comfort mode now as well. Now we're going to go through the same gap in the fence. However, this time we're going to go onto our wet straight, and it's one of our low friction surfaces. Track control, can we have water on the straight, please? So have you got much else planned today after this?
No, it won't just be a case of having a look round. I've been kind of a couple of times before, but
so you sort of
have a look round. Richie wants to take me to a decent pub on the way back, have a burger, and then I don't know.
Fair enough.
Go home and see how the daughter is. I was meant to be up here with my my wife and.
Okay, we'll just stop in this box. So are they? Were they meant to come up here with you today?
Yeah, no, but my daughter started being sick last night. It was like, right, everybody's staying at home.
Fair enough.
Apart from me.
Well, not a bad day out for you then, anyway.
No, it's all right.
So what we're going to do here, we have the water jets spraying up into the air. The wet surface is in the middle, and that's the slippery surface.
Yeah.
We're going to limit the car to 35 miles per hour just by pressing that button and then up. So it's called Speedtronic, effectively a speed limiter.
Yeah.
We're going to drive down at 35. I'll say brake. It'll be roughly next to the blue cones. Hit the brake as hard as you can. However, when you do brake, let go of the steering wheel. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, one thing to mention, if you go full power, it will override the system.
Yeah.
So just accelerate smoothly up to 35 and it will hold you there.
Fine.
Let's go.
I did have an old Merc which had a limiter on it.
Yeah.
And I found it very handy actually.
Yeah. They are useful, to be fair. Brake. Good.
That's
so,
cool.
How did that feel there on the brake pedal on the ABS side of things compared to the previous run on the normal tarmac?
You can feel the ABS sort of grabbing and grabbing and grabbing, but like ultra controlled.
Yeah. So, and with any car with modern day ABS, it keeps it travelling in a straight line.
Yeah.
So it's effectively electronic brake force distribution is what it's called. But if the car starts to yaw or rotate to the left, it applies more to the right hand side of the vehicle to get it back straight again. So it works in the same principle of steering into it, but obviously the wheels are straight line. It's just applying the brakes, hence why it sort of pulls it back into that side.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn it back off now. Also we have here is our traction control. It's a bit more advanced than that. It's a stability program, so it actually does apply the brakes for you with the traction control system when you're cornering. Now if we hold it for 3 seconds, it turns the whole system off.
Yeah.
From here, try full throttle acceleration and see what happens. So a lot of wheel spin, don't move anywhere.
Yeah.
Remember that for the circle later when drifting, because we can use that to our advantage. If we stop again, system's back on. Try full throttle acceleration now and keep the power down the whole way. The traction's really working overtime to try and stop any wheel spin whatsoever. So we're going to go in between the 2 red stop signs here and straight across the road onto the circle. So you've seen it done before.
Yeah.
The smoother you are on the power, the better.
Yeah.
First of all, we'll keep the whole system turned on, then we'll go into sports handling mode, and then we're going to turn it all off. Now, it's like a 3-lane roundabout. that middle lane is the slippery surface, either side normal tarmac.
Yeah.
You have the white line which separates all of the different tarmacs. If we pull onto the middle one now, and all I'd like you to do initially is, start to pick up the speed nice and smoothly. The electronic stability program is completely turned on. See what happens. So, different models of cars, different lengths.
Yeah.
Some are more prone to understeer. C-Class is oversteer.
Yeah.
You can get these to understeer, but you have to really force it.
Yeah.
Where you just picked up nice and gradually, but it did kick the back out. Now what you're going to notice on the wet circle, we have our speed up here on the left.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on it. Anything really when we start to try drifting above about 15 becomes quite uncontrollable in the drift.
Right.
Because what happens, the quicker you go, it just pushes you out to the normal tarmac.
Yeah.
So try being quite aggressive on the power now, see what happens. A bit more left, bit more left. Good. So it just pushes it out a little bit too quick.
Yeah.
However, it controls it quite well with the system on.
Yeah.
From here, try and go full power and drive it around the circle. Just keep it absolutely foot to the floor. And then if you need to steer left to get it straight, go left as much as you need to. Don't be hesitant to go the whole way on the steering rack. So how does that feel so? And now you're into the understeer.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels strangely very controllable.
Yeah. So what's happening with the stability program? It effectively applies the brakes around the car for you, and it's trying to get the car straight again.
Yeah.
So it applies the rear right and the front left, always diagonal corners. So if you're going right, it's the rear right. If you're going left, it's the rear left. And it just helps to effectively help the car turn into the circle, but then to stop it spinning, braking that front left wheel. What I'm now going to do is go into sports handling mode. Basically, it now makes the traction control, it's not quite as effective, it's sort of half switched on, half not. So it allows a little bit more wheel spin, but also it will apply the brakes, but not until it gets to a certain angle now,
Yeah.
where before it tries to do it immediately. Keep an eye on the speed. Now, from about 14, 15, be quite aggressive on the power.
Yeah.
Get the car into a spin, lift off the throttle completely, and just try and get it straight again. Get used to the car sliding first, and then we're going to try drifting afterwards.
Cool.
So keep practicing that, see how far you can get the car sideways. Good. So what we roughly have on the steering wheel when it's straight is about a whole turn and a quarter until we hit the lock stop. The ideal drift angle is roughly a complete turn on the steering wheel. Now, what that gives, if you go a little bit too more on the power, a little bit too much, you can go full lock like that.
Yeah.
And it gives that little bit of extra space, but also you then have a whole turn till the car's back straight again. Now from here, see if you can keep the car drifting longer by just go full lock, but then smoothly unwind the steering and just gently reapply the power to see if you can keep it drifting for a bit longer. Now the system's going to fight you a small amount, but just get used to it, because you can effectively sometimes, to drift, to keep the drift going longer, sometimes the throttle pedal is not always the best way, because it may encourage the car to spin. But if you can just unwind the steering straight, you're going to keep it going on for longer and longer to start to straighten up the wheel a small amount. Just keep it going. There you go. Good. Good. It's got good balance on the steering. Now from here, in this mode, you should in theory be able to drift the car.
Yeah.
Try and drift it in this mode. So I'll put it into a sports engine mode to make it look more responsive as well. It often helps out a little bit. Good. So, I'm now going to turn it all off.
Yep.
If you press the OK button on the steering wheel, keep an eye on that speed. 13, 14. Get the car into a spin first of all, then try and correct it. Get used to that. Good. pretty slippery, changes it completely. So first few times, try and get it into the spin, just bring it straight again. See how far you can get the car sideways and get it straight again.
Okay.
And then we're going to try and promote it into a longer drift.
Cool.
Also, one thing with drifting on normal tarmac, you have to flick it to get the car out.
Yeah.
On this, you don't. If anything, a flick kind of overdoes it a little bit. So I don't know if you noticed, but when you went into this sort of turn there, you just applied a little bit more steering lock into the car, and it just span it a little bit too much. Try and use the throttle pedal more to brake the car into a slide here, rather than the steering. So I don't know if you noticed, just once again, you just went a tiny bit in just as you went on the throttle.
Yeah.
It's probably instinctive. Try not to do that. From that sort of 10 miles per hour, 10, 11, 12 for example, you can pretty much go full power. And like when we were stationary, you get the wheel spin. So the car doesn't really accelerate, but also makes it quite controllable. So try going full power here, see what happens. And it actually makes it much more controllable. It's the second you try and promote it by turning in, that on here, it's just not really needed. Good, now balance the throttle, good.
Right, cool.
Steer into it. That's it, good, keep it going. From the front of the car.
Yeah.
And by that was good, by the way. The first one to drift whole circle, that's very good. When you start to get that vibration, it's the front tyres just starting to push into understeer.
Cool.
So that's when you know you're pretty much spot on.
Yeah.
Now when you get to that sort of max opposite lock, that's when you know you're probably best just to lift off the power completely, just so it starts to straighten up, and then reapply it. Because you're kind of playing with fire there, where a tiny bit too much power and it's going to spin. But about here, that's the angle I like to drift at, because it gives you a little bit more play if you need to steer into it. But to go and drift the whole circle on the first attempt is very good. Right, let's try again. Is that to try and encourage it round, or? Yeah, cool. Next time do it, give it a little bit of power as well. You may encourage it even more if you do start to spin. But good, very good. How does it feel drifting it?
It feels good. It's kind of like it feels fine. It's just trying to get that balance.
Consistency, yeah. So now it's just finding that throttle input where you can pretty much just leave your foot there and just not even move it. And once you get to that point, effectively the steering won't really move as well. And you can get it where actually the wheel's pretty much just fixed there, so is the throttle. It's very hard to find that point, but it is doable, and it's just managing it. But I mean, that's when you're talking about getting the technique perfect at that point. Just to go as you are now is very good. Maybe as well, just out of interest, it's complete preference. Some people always drift with one hand, some people drift with two.
Yeah.
So maybe when it's all the way around, maybe hold it with two hands. Maybe because then, say sometimes you're sort of like just on the edge of your hand.
Yeah.
See if it makes it a bit easier like that. It's pure driver preference now when you got to the level that you have. So steer into it. Wait. It's going to come back on.
That's what it is. Getting back on it.
Yeah. Early enough as well. Yeah. And that's why if you can always keep on a little bit of power, there'll never be that hesitation.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when it does start to go that far, you do have to come off it a little bit.
Yeah.
Let me try Sports Plus, see if that makes it a little bit easier on the throttle once again. Just makes it a tiny bit more responsive every time. How does that feel with two hands as well? Some people hate it.
No, do you know, it feels okay. I think once you've got the balance, if you can get the balance right,
yeah,
it's fine with you. Not good at that one. Let's reverse that way.
Just up on the stalk on the right. That's it. But to be fair, you've got it. You've got the drift, and you've drifted a whole circle already. And now we're just picking up on like tiny bits, but
yeah.
Got to be pleased with that because we only really get a handful of people ever drift it. So wait. Try to almost maybe not go quite as far on the drift. Just, we're in quite far on the lock stop.
Yeah.
Try and just keep it another 90 degrees on the steering, and if you have to, just be more like there and there rather than there and there, if that makes sense. So just don't let it quite rotate just as far. Because what you can actually learn to start doing is encouraging it to drift more by then flicking the wheel a small amount. So for example, you can encourage the car to drift more by taking steering lock off of it. So say if you want to go to the left, flip the wheel to the left a bit. It's actually going to encourage the car to keep drifting for a bit longer. And that way you can sort of not use the power as much and just use the steering to assist you as well. Takes a while, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Keep going. That's it, good. That's perfect. Keep balancing. Balance. So wait. Now back on. Bit more throttle, bit more. That's it. Now wait. Steer a bit to the right, now back on. Now you see how going to the right there encouraged it into the drift again?
Yeah.
Sometimes use that if you need to, so just wait a bit. Now a bit to the right, bit more, while you're on the power there, and it will just encourage it, bit more, brake left. That's it. Left. Left, wait, left. Now back on the power, keep it going. Balance. That's it, good, keep it going. Steer into it, wait. Now back on the front, bit more, be aggressive, that's it, good. Keep it going, bit more. Wait for it. Good though, good. We're going to come off here now, we'll go back on later. We'll take a left here, and we're going to go left in between the two blue cones. Did you get on with that easier than you expected, or?
I don't know, really. Yeah.
You've done well there. Like that, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna blow smoke up your arse either. But at the same time, you've done very well. So
cool.
We'll go up the slip road on the right, and then left down the road. A lot of people are left down here. They really struggle because they treat the throttle pedal a bit like an on-off switch.
Yeah.
You can't drift like that because the car's just trying to spin all the time. The smoother you are, the better, and it applies the same on the circuit as well. So we're now going to go onto the circuit, which is left here. We'll stop on the double white line before we get there. Now there's no overtaking on the track, primarily because it's too narrow.
Yeah.
However, if we do catch a car, they'll pull to the left here, we'll go past on the right. but I'll be talking to the other instructors on the radio anyway. Now by the looks of it, it's completely empty, so we have to hold track to ourselves. We'll start to pull onto the left. First 2 laps, learn where it goes right and left. We're going to talk about the racing lines, a few reference markers, and then you can drive as quick as you want and start picking up the speed. So turn 2 is a long sweep in the left-hand corner. Follow the white line on the left. As you increase your speed, it's going to naturally push you to the middle right-hand side of the track. Yeah. Bring the car back to the left, braking towards the orange cone. Driving with your right-hand wheels over the white line or on top of it. Now let the car move back to the left next to the blue cones. Keep to the left here for longer than you think. Now enter the right, aiming for the orange cone. A nice smooth turning. Let the car move back to the left. Obviously it'll be full power down here. Yeah. The brake marker board is obviously at the red and white board here. Far too early at this speed. When you're full power, it's pretty much bang on for the point of where to start braking. Yeah. Use all the track, let the car move back up to the white line on the left, and then brake in late and deep into this corner. So if you're going in correctly, you should be braking to about here, right, okay, and then over the white line on the right hand side and building on the power the whole way through. Then bring the car back to the left, over the white line about halfway through, and try and keep it closer to the left here. The further you drift out to the right, you're just taking a longer distance around the circuit. Yeah. Longer distance is slower. Over the white line on the left, feeding on the power the whole way through. So yes, you brake over the white line on the right, and then back with your left hand wheels over the white line on the left. So are you familiar with racing lines as well, or? Yeah, more so after the Thruxton drive. For sure. So if you sort of start to drive those racing lines now as you have been, and this is really quite a critical one here, you know, it's quite tempting to turn in too early here. Yeah. But then what happens is it pushes you out further. Yeah. You're almost better to turn in a tiny bit later and have a nice smooth turn in the whole way through. This one's always tempting to brake later than the board. You can push it a tiny bit, but if you go too far, you gain time going into the corner, then you consequently have to go slower around the corner and the exit. And as I'm sure you're aware, with driving a car quick, there's always a compromise. You can never be the quickest person into the corner, through the corner, and out of the corner. Yeah. It's always, you kind of have to choose which area you want. If we start to pick up the speed of the car now, we're in comfort mode at the moment, and then we'll go into sport, sports plus, race, and so on. So keep increasing the power the whole way through. Halfway round over that white line, start to feed back onto the power. So keep increasing the power the whole round, bit more, keep going, bit more, that's it, trust that car, good. Now let the car run to the left, aim for the orange cone on the right hand side, full power around here. When you get next that red and white brake board, start braking there. And keep the car to the left, try not to turn it too early, now into the right. Good. Let the car run out to the left, roll good speed into this one, trust the car. And at that sort of speed you can get round without a brake, and you'll also feel the stability program kicking in. As we get quicker and quicker, you'll soon require a brake. We're going to go sports mode now, see how this feels. And you're going to find the stability program being really intrusive. Keep on at that for now, and then we're going to go into the sports handling mode afterwards. Let the car run to left, use all the track, good, every inch possible. Better in sports mode?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. So we're now going to go sports plus, see how this feels. at the moment? You're in Sports Plus now, it's fully stiffened up. Does it feel like it's cornering any easier and better?
It just, yeah, I mean, obviously I'm picking, you know, you get used to the track, you get used to it, you go faster, it does.
Sure.
It feels like it's cornering on rails, doesn't it? It's kind of that sort of deal.
Now, how does the traction control system feel? Does it feel quite intrusive?
Yeah, there are certain points where it's feeling intrusive, but I think that's probably because I'm going too far, like here, when everything
straightens up,
straightens up.
And that's a prime key there to look at. So the system's it's becoming too intrusive. You try not to let the car slide whatsoever.
Yeah.
But also, if you can go into the corner quicker and get the car straightened up more on the exit, then the traction control system's not going to kick in as much.
No, that's it.
Now, and that's actually a technique you want to look at for when you're driving quick.
Yeah.
Because when you turn it all off and then you start to go on the power through a corner as you are, you're going to get oversteer, and then it's either going to try and slide or spin effectively. So now, try and go into the corners, not all of them, say turn through here, a little bit quicker, keep to the left. And as you get to the exit, let it turn, start to straighten the wheel now, and then onto the power. And it's going to allow the system to come in much more powerful sooner, effectively.
Yeah.
So hold the brake the whole way in, start to feed back onto the power now. So going quick until you trust the car. Now be patient. That's it. So going quick, but also don't jump on the throttle too early as well.
Yeah.
So get it back to left, now let the car turn. And one of the big things, because we're in a big car, you get a lot of weight transfer. Now when you brake, the front and nose of the car dips down.
Yeah.
When you accelerate, the back of the car squats, effectively lifts up the front. So if you're going around a corner and you effectively jump onto the power, because the front of the car lifts up, you start to get understeer and you lose your front grip from the tyres. So you've always got to let the car get further around the corner than you expect before you sort of get onto the throttle, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we're going to finish this lap, then we're going to go into that sports handling mode, okay? Now that's effectively when the traction is half on, half off. You can actually spin the car in the driving mode, but as long as you're smooth on the power, it's going to make it a lot more, it's going to free it up for you, and you'll be able to find, you pretty much get all the power that you want effectively in the driving. So we're going to go into the mode now, and see if you can feel the difference. Simple dab of the brakes, what I've done there as well, and you steered into it. But it shows the car does now come out.
Yeah.
It's good. Steep, keep pushing. Brake it hard, hold the brake in. Start to feed on the power. Now brake into the corner. Let the car turn. And now smoothly getting on the power. Going quick, let it turn. Now wait, let the car turn. Now onto the throttle, keep it to the left, over the white line on the right hand side, smoothly on the power, now hard on the power, brake hard, now hold the brake as you turn it, hold the brake, now follow the white line on the left, smoothly increase the power, a bit more, keep going, trust that car, nice and smooth, keep going, a bit more, now brake hard, now hold the brake as you turn it, hold the brake, let the car turn, now think of where that steering wheel is,
Yeah.
that's it, good, now aim for the orange cone on the right, smooth on the power, now, hold the brake the whole way into the corner. So now we're going to try also a technique called trail braking. We're going to do 95% of the braking in a straight line, but then just hold the brake a small amount as we're turning into the corner. Keeps the weight over the nose of the car, it's going to help it turn a lot better. There's a common myth everyone says don't brake as you go around the corner.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to be turning the corner first and then brake, that will spin the car.
Yeah.
But if you're holding it as you're going into it, it keeps the weight over the front of the car, makes it much more responsive as you start turning in. Smoothly increasing the power through it. Bit more, keep going. Right, brake hard now. Now let the car turn. Think of where the steering wheel is. Let it turn. Now straighten up, now onto the power. Good. Smooth on the power here. Hard on the brakes, hold onto it. Start to feed onto the throttle. Bit more, that's it. Keep going. Going quick. Hold the brake a small amount, now let the car turn, keep it to the right. Smooth on the power, bring it back to the left. Let the car turn. Now back onto the throttle. Good. Small brake next to the right. So, good. Now, how much steering lock do you reckon you had there when you got onto the power?
I don't know, probably a quarter.
Yeah, so just over a quarter a lot.
Yeah.
Well, that's quite a lot of wheel rotation there.
Yeah.
Hence why the back kicks out. So now we've got the motor switched off.
Yeah.
Start to have a little think now. It's quite. Try and be aware of how much that steering wheel is rotated as you start to get under power. Driving good though, really good. So hold the brake the whole way in. Back onto the throttle now. And braking late and into the corner. Now think of where that steering wheel is. Think about it. Keep an eye on it. Keep it to the right. You braked at the right point there, just didn't hit it quite hard enough, hence why I ran wide. Keep pushing it, it's good. Braking hard now, hold the brake the whole way in. Now smooth on the power. That's good, much better. Did that feel better through there as well?
Yeah, it did.
Good, driving really well. Braking now, hold the brake the whole way in. Start to turn now, feeding on the throttle. Good. Now going in quick. Brake the whole way to the orange cone. Now let the car turn. Get it turned quicker, turn more, turn more, turn more. Good, now back to the left. Much better. Back to left, keep to left, keep to left. Now onto the throttle. Keep to left, now to the right. Good. Braking now, hold it the whole way in. Now follow the white line on the left to driving well. Keep increasing the power. A little bit more, that's it, a bit more. Good. And then there's that fine line between that. You're only talking a little bit different there. Driving well though. Keep pushing. Braking now. Hold the brake the whole way in. Start feeding on the power. Good. Keep it to the right. Right. Now back to the left. Good. So we're going to come off this lap, let the tyres cool down a little bit. They get quite warm as you can imagine.
Yep.
And we'll come back on afterwards.
Okay.
Left it. How was that so far though?
Cracking.
Yeah, good. So we're going to take a left here, and then we're going to go into lane 1 again. So in that sports handling mode, if you're going to start pushing hard, you need to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, with a small dab of the brake pedal and steering into it, it comes back pretty quick as well.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do here is a race start. Now to get it into there, you need to effectively turn the traction control systems either half off or completely off. Completely off is actually no good because you get far too much wheel spin.
Yeah.
So half off is a sort of a better bracket. They can go into race mode or sport. We'll go into race mode for this. Effectively, you can have your left foot on the brake pedal, your right foot on the throttle when we go into the modes, and it'll be full brake, full throttle, and all you have to do is drop the brake, say after 2, 3, 4 seconds. It's basically launch control.
Cool.
So if you put your left foot on the brake now, pull both pedals, you get raced up. Confirm with the right pedal. Now when you're ready, full brake, full throttle, sit there for 2, 3, 4 seconds, and then we'll come off. Now with the throttle pedal on these, if you just touch it slightly, did you hit rev tiny bit, and then come off, it aborts it.
Yeah.
So just go onto it pretty aggressively, sit there, and then come off. So try it again, both pedals. Quick on that throttle. Now off the brake. And a lot of wheel spin there. Good. And you may find potentially coming off the circle there, we may have overheated the rears.
Yeah.
So hence we've got a lot of wheel spin there. But no, good. So what we're going to do now is a slalom, and we're going to see how the car effectively varies when we stiffen up the suspension. Have it from sort of comfort ride control to full stick. How's it been so far though? What's been your favourite part?
Cracking. Well, track driving and the drifting. Trying that sort of fine line on that real slippery circuit.
Yeah, it's good. So left here for me, and then into lane 3. So we'll just stop before we drive on. Now on the left hand side of this lane we have effectively some discs on the floor, on the dotted white line.
Yeah.
There's 8 of them down, 4 before the orange cones, 4 after. Now they should be a yellow colour, some of them sort of half faded to about a whitish colour now.
Yeah.
But the first one's about 4, maybe 5 lines down.
So yeah.
And then it's spaced every 3 lines further on. Now, the one important thing here, is that you turn left after the first disc, not before. If you turn before, it's going to try and turn your left into the cones.
Yeah.
Or if you turn after, it'll bring it to the right-hand side, and then we can continue the slalom the whole way down. I'm going to limit the car to 35 for this. If you hit a disc, doesn't matter. Just take more of an arc through. You may find you miss it with your front wheel, but hit it with the rear, because it takes effectively a shorter turning circle. Ready?
Cool.
Let's go. One more time. How did that feel there?
Yeah, I think I probably wasn't doing 35, was I?
Just under, yeah, about 35, 34. So you was near enough there also. Good. You get quite a lot of body roll there.
Yeah.
But you still done it. You can do it absolutely fine when it's full soft. I'm going to stiffen it up now, so effectively the suspension is in the full stiffness Sports Plus mode. See how it feels now. Try and smoothen off the steering a little bit. Try not to be quite as initial on the turning.
Yeah.
Be more progressive. Let's go. Good. Feel much of a change there?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Lots of change. Far less roll.
Yeah, far less roll. Good. What we're now going to do is a brake and avoid. We're going to go into lane 2.
Yeah.
We're going to basically drive towards those 2 nice orange cones and avoid them as late as we possibly can. The point in doing this, we'll pull into that lane 2, is to effectively see if we was driving down the road normally and a object or person was in front of us, you have to avoid them at all costs and see what the cars are capable of. Now obviously in a real life situation you're going to react to this instinctively. So as soon as someone walks out, you're not even going to think about it. You're going to hit the brake as hard as you can and manoeuvre the car out of the way. This is quite a weird feeling because you can see the cones getting closer and closer. So we'll do a couple of attempts at this. We'll go up to 45. It's not unusual to brake a bit too early for the first one, but it is unusual just driving towards those set of cones. Now, we don't want to hit them. It's not the end of the world if we do, but obviously try not to. So we're going to drive towards them about 45. With a full emergency stop, in theory we should still hit the cones.
Yeah.
Therefore you have to effectively manoeuvre it out of the way. Now do you want to manoeuvre the car to the left lane or the right lane?
Right.
Right, okay. Now, treat it like a real life situation. You want to try and miss the cones by a metre, not an inch. Get the car nicely positioned into that right lane as you come to a stop.
Yeah.
Not facing the barrier on the right hand side but facing up the road. Just nice and across to come to a complete stop.
Cool.
Wait for these ones to go. And yeah, that brake pedal, hit it as hard as you can, hold onto it, steering in, still holding, come to a complete stop.
Cool.
When this one pulls off to the left, we'll be good to go. You're driving well though, on the track's good.
Good.
Very good. So what do you reckon you prefer, drifting or track?
Probably do you know what, I don't know, if I was locked in here late at night with lots of tyres and petrol, I think I'd time myself, get times down on the track, and I'd be doing drifting as well.
Both of them, I like.
So yeah, I just way too early.
That's alright. So let's line up one more time.
Yeah.
And it's funny because everyone does it on that first time.
Yeah.
Where they hit it and then they're like, that was too early. But you see the cones and you're like, not too sure. To give you a rough idea of stopping distances, you're looking to 2 to 3 dotted white lines.
Cool.
Now, obviously with the Speedtronic there, we did sort of power for it.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world. But yeah, try and sort of get it to that 45. So what we'll do after this, we're going to jump down onto the wet circle, and then we're going to head back onto the track afterwards. So this time I'll tell you where to brake.
Cool.
It will still be a little bit earlier than what we could go, but it will give us a good idea pretty much, and it will feel close.
Yeah.
So. if we start to go now. And brake. Good. How was that?
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, feel pretty close.
Yeah, obviously much closer, but
Yeah.
once the car gets into its thing, you kind of think, actually,
and
it's not
you
close
could
at all.
even you could hit the brakes much harder there if you wanted.
Yeah.
And you get to the point where you're almost just stopping next to the cones.
Mm.
So you was quite sympathetic actually in the brake pedal there.
Yeah.
But you can hit it even. You can pretty much just hit it as hard as you want, and the car doesn't spin. As long as you brake first and then turn,
Yeah.
it keeps nice and controlled. So we'll go behind the 4 blue cones, and then do you want to go back onto the wet circle?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that. So left behind these, and then it's all the way to the bottom of the road.
Cool.
And on the right hand side, if there's like 2 cars on it already,
Yeah.
rather than waiting, we'll come up to the circuit,
Yeah, cool.
and then we'll then go down back onto the circle. Obviously, we don't want to waste time sort of queuing for people if there is.
Absolutely.
If I see one of them waiting, then we'll go down and have a look anyway,
Okay, cool.
because it won't take 30 seconds to turn around and come back up. One on. Just the one. I think this one's coming off. Perfect. So if we pull, that's it. Perfect. Right. I'll turn the whole system off. We're in the Sports Plus NG mode. It's a bit more responsive. If you press the OK button on the steering wheel,
Cool.
and then yeah, let's start going about now. So remember, keep an eye on that speed.
Yeah.
Wait for it. Put it back to the right.
Right speed.
Tiny bit too.
Pretty much.
A little bit smoother, and
Yeah.
you're just promoting the spin.
Yeah.
You got it actually quite nice earlier when you was doing it. But at the moment when you first come on here, it can take a little while to get used to the surface again.
Yeah.
Just use that power instead. That's it. Now balance. Just find the sweet spot. A little bit more. That's it. Keep it going. Just keep that throttle on there. Exactly there. Just hold it there. Bit more. Just hold it now. Steer into it. Now reapply the power. A bit more. Perfect. Keep going. A bit more. Keep going. A bit more. Hold it there and stop. So we'll let them sort of get halfway round, and then we get a nice clear track, because they held us up there. But no, you got the feel of it again. That was nice.
Cool.
So let them go a little bit further still. There you go. I told you were good.
Keep moving now.
Keep going, a bit more. Wait Keep it going. Keep it going. Steer to the left a little bit. More power, steer to left. Alright, now reduce the power. Wait, off the power, off the power. Now back on, back on, back on, back on. Right, keep the power going. Bit more, steer to the left. Bit more, steer to the left. That's it. Now balance off the power a little bit. Now keep it going, bit more, bit more. Just balance. Try and find the sweet spot now. That's it. Bit more, bit more. That's it. Hold it there, it's perfect. Reduce, wait, wait, back on, bit more, bit more. Keep it going, keep it going. And brake. Good.
Cool.
Good, that nice there. Should we do one more and head onto the circuit? Yeah? Right, let's let these nearly catch us up. So we can definitely get a clear run then. So sometimes what happens, obviously you can basically just steer your way around the circle. So you can steer left to get closer to the white line on the left, steer right to get closer to the white line on the right.
Yeah.
But obviously when you go to the right, you're taking steering lock off. So you have to reduce the power. When you're going left, you have to increase the power. Of course, you're then basically trying to straighten the car up. Does that make sense? Yeah. So it's just finding the balance between the two. That's why I was saying at different points, increase the power and steer left. Just so if you hit the normal timing of your front wheel, it's going to spin you out basically. Yeah. So it's just pulling you out. Let's go. Try and increase the power to get it to the left, that's it. Now wait. It's going to come back. It's going to wait for it. Back on the power now, back on the power now. Steer a bit to the right. Good, that's it. Right, now try and find that sweet spot again.
Just hit the outside.
That is good. Take a left in between the cones, this one. That there, spot on. You pretty much drifted it on the absolute maximum for like good 2 circles there. Like you could see it, wasn't you? It was near enough on the lock stop there, it was perfect. Straight up here for me, and then left down the road. We're going to go straight to Sports Plus, into that sports handling mode as well. So your tyres are a little bit wet, so just be cautious first few corners, and then good to go. Can you bring the paperwork down and a USB with that as well, please? Thank you. Good, keep going. Good, that's it, good. Good, hold the brake. Hold it all the way in. Hold the brake, hold the brake. Now on the power. Good. So do you feel there how you held the brake a little bit longer? It helps the car get turned a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
And then when you get on the power one, because the car's a little bit straighter, braking out, hold the brake, and it deep in. That's it. It just allows the car to get a bit straighter, so then you can attack the power more when you get onto it. So you let the car straighten up now into the power harder. Good. Brake hard now, brake hard. A little bit more of a brake there initially, just to get it to rotate. Give it a bit of a harder stamp as you're going in.
Yeah.
Smooth, that's it. Smoothly increasing the whole way through. That's it, much better. So braking a bit earlier this time, that's it, good. Hold the brake. Much better, feed onto the power. Yeah, will do, no problem. Keep to the right, keep feeding on the power. Good. Now small brake, let it turn, let it turn, let it turn. Did you brake there at all?
No,
yeah.
not really.
No, that's it. That's right, I like honesty's good. Bit harder next time, just to get it. I say small, but you still need enough.
Yeah.
Just to it gets the weight over the nose of the car.
Yeah.
It's just going to help it corner that little bit better. Good. Keep going. Braking now. Hold the brake the whole way in. Small brake on this one on the way in, okay? On this one here, sorry. Small brake, let it turn, let it turn. Good, now onto the power small. Okay, so we're going to take a left off this lap. And I've got to say, that was good. Really good. And well, that's the hour up, so we're starting back to the building. But I've got to say, you've driven really, really well there.
Excellent,
really
cheers.
well. You drifted the wet circle there, actually one of the best I've probably had in a good few weeks. Because I've had a few people to drift it, but you literally held it on like the lock stop for like 2 whole laps, which is, that's when you know the throttle is like perfect.
Yeah.
Because you were just sitting there and it was just, yeah, brilliant. Straight across there. Lewis to Ryan, we are just heading back to the building now. How was that though? Enjoy it?
Yeah, fantastic.
I've got to say, really good, honestly. Really good.
Excellent.
What was it like driving it this time rather than being a passenger?
Yeah, it's
Straight down there.
it is a cracking thing, isn't it?
It's good fun. Well, if you just put it onto this brickwork here and just sort of face it down towards the door a little bit further, keep going, and that'll do there perfectly. Bring the sort of reverse up a little bit straighter. Up in the
Reverse it a bit straight.
just be facing the front now. That'll do there perfectly, just spot on.